That's Toya.
That's Mike, and this is Tech Beats and Bytes.
Toya. I heard you just turned 24.
That's right. Keep it young. Yeah.
Happy belated birthday, Queen.
Thank
Happy
you.
belated
Appreciate
birthday.
it.
So, what did Taco get you for your birthday?
Lots of love and hugs, and first day of virtual school, which was awesome. So that was cool.
Really? How
Yeah,
was that though? Virtual
it's
school.
been going really, really well. We found this. Actually saw them on Instagram. Actually, it's a school out of Brooklyn called Village Wholehearted, and it's a black-owned school.
Wait,
She
Taco
she's
go to school in Brooklyn?
he go to school in Brooklyn.
Kind of,
Oh.
that boy
It's
living life.
right. It's a black owned school. So she used to work at Google and do some different things, and then she ended up going back to work with her. I think it was her grandmother who had like a daycare in Brooklyn. So because of COVID, they took it online. So he's taking like Mandarin, martial arts, phonics, math, all of that stuff, all through Zoom. He's on right now. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I like it.
I always wanted to go to school in Brooklyn, but it never happened. But Taco is doing it already.
Yesterday he learned how to say ni hao, which is Mandarin for hello. So that was cool.
Oh, so he's learning Mandarin.
He's learning Mandarin. Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's Taco. That's
Yeah.
Taco do Taco things.
Gotta keep it popping for the toddlers.
All right. That's dope. I mean, besides the 16-year-old that took down the whole Miami-Dade school system with a Google and a YouTube video. And I saw a lot of people are asking, like, oh, well, they're going to get a refund for that. No, that's why they do closed bid projects. Those are friends exchanging money. It's $17 million for a website. And frankly, that's what's going to happen. So I don't know what to tell y'all. Rick Scott put it in place, and then after Rick Scott put it in place, he passed the ball off to DeSantis, and it's a continuation of all the fuckery we've been dealing with. So, welcome to Florida.
Right. It's just, when you think about it, they've had a long time
A long time to fix this. Yeah.
to really prepare and you know how many kids are in your county. So make sure your servers at least can do the minimum. Like I heard some numbers come out. I don't remember off the top of my head, but whatever the server could handle was nowhere near the number of students in Miami-Dade public school.
But it's like there's a simple thing that most tech people know. It's called stress testing.
Right.
And you should kind of know how many students you have in your district for that stress test.
Yeah. And you do it multiple times until you get it right.
Until it doesn't shut down.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the number was that he reached with the stress test. And either way, congratulations to the young man. I hope you end up getting a degree or you do something in cybersecurity after you serve your term, which pretty sure it'll be kind of short because you weren't black. But I just hope you end up doing something positive with that information. Just want everybody to know we are open today for Q&A. Unfortunately, due to health situations and COVID and other things, a couple of our guests are actually sick or weren't unable to attend. So we didn't want to leave you guys hanging. There's some things that I did want to talk about. I do want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Some things I don't want to talk about that I think I should talk about.
Y'all get ready. Put your seatbelts on.
You already know. But so one of the things I've been noticing is the political atmosphere of misinformed people. And I'm just wondering with my loyal viewers, all 5,000 of you all that are watching right now. Toya, I've been running into a lot of people that are grossly misled on the historic elements of American society and American government. which has continued to lead them to make some of the decisions they're making. Have you been dealing with that or seeing that in any way, shape, or form, or is it just me?
Give it to me one more time. You're lost in the sauce about what?
Like how much people just don't know, how misinformed people are, and like I don't know. Maybe before got into my 30s, I just didn't care, but I knew I still voted, and I knew everything Ronald Reagan didn't do right. But I'm confused on how there's so much people miss like contraband and drugs getting thrown into black communities, redlining, just all the horrible things that have happened to people, and they just don't seem to be aware of it, and they don't understand how those things are still causing negative impact in our current day.
Yeah, no, I think, it shows up all the time, right? And it shows up in different things. And I think it's just a matter of people just not diving in enough, right? They kind of take the surface level. We talk about all the time, when you're in marketing or digital, people don't read. So when you develop a website, you put the main things you want people to see bigger, right? You pull out quotes because people skim. And when you skim, you only get the headline. And a lot of times people just focus on either what they're hearing, those sound bites, which is why sound bites are so important, and or either headlines. And it's not the details. And the details is where the information is. So you will often have conversations with people and you're like, did you
What?
really see what?
What?
No, I don't think you really knew what that was about. So that's why it's important to just have outlets, right? To where you can sort of provide more of that information. But again, sometimes on those outlets, it's an echo chamber because you're talking to people who already know.
Right. Or assume they know. So
Yeah.
from David Stewart, we have they're not misled. A lot of willfully ignorant and revisionist history is a mother. And from Trina, they're aware of it. They just don't care because it doesn't impact them, or so they think. And I think that is very true, Trina. Especially David. We've had that discussion, but a lot of people don't realize the impact of certain things. And when a lot of people start talking about, I remember for my willfully ignorant people from Bay County, they were trying to talk about black men not being there for their children and destruction of the black family. I don't know if y'all, well, I do know. I would have to assume these are the same people that don't realize the things that happen in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the things that happen in Rosewood, Florida. And I'm going to focus on Rosewood because since it's right around the corner for most of the people that I have these conversations with, there were flourishing black communities that were stolen. Um, I understand that you guys may be upset about some of these buildings that have been, and we don't condone looting or destruction. Some of these businesses that have been burned, and they're normally corporate chains, so they'll probably get fixed and replaced. But we actually don't condone those things, not because we actually care about the buildings. We care about the people that's actually working in those buildings, and with their jobs, they're not able to go back. So there's a trickle effect of what's happening to people. And I don't think a lot of people see that. And we see that. So if you're upset about one or two buildings, 10, 20, imagine your whole damn city being burnt down and you have nowhere to go. Your whole city. All over false accusations, not out of rage of something that's happened, but just straight up false accusations.
Right.
And a lot of these are Emmett Till situations. A lot of them have started from a woman accusing a black man of either looking at her or raping her or anything of the sort. Which historically, all these things end up being false. But whole cities were lost, generations of wealth taken away out of anger. And so many people want to keep going back to, I don't understand why everything can't be like MLK and have a dream. They killed MLK when he started talking about economic empowerment.
Right. And then too, they like to use Martin Luther King because he has been painted as the safe person
Right.
who champions nonviolence, right? Malcolm X was dropping some gems. but nobody wants to quote Malcolm X on
Right.
TV, right? So you have to sort of think about the people that they like to put on a pedestal because I'm not saying there's anything wrong. MLK had his issues too, but there's been a sort of whitewashing or a Santa Clausing, right, of him and who he is and who he was and what he was doing. And like you said, they don't talk about those later years. They talk about the earlier stuff that
Right.
has been like, this is okay. Just like how they edited the Bible, this is okay for the public to consume. This other stuff we're gonna keep over here because you don't need to know about that. Which is where the whole idea of doing your own research and doing your own digging and your own information. Because if you just rely on what someone tells you, they're going to tell you what they want you to know and what they want you to hear.
And I think it's another key point that was mentioned by David, and that was one of the key points I was going to bring up. You guys probably want to stop bringing up Martin Luther King if we're not going to bring up all the facts, because didn't nobody like Martin Luther King when he was alive?
Right,
Y'all only liked him when he was dead.
right.
He was hated by 78% of America when he was alive. That was like the last poll that they ran. So it wasn't like you just had a generation that was embracing the things Martin Luther King. It wasn't everybody was trying to see that one little black boy and that one little white girl uniting. They still want to kill this black man. So I'm not sure how you guys are relating that, but this is what we're going through. There's certain modern day times of information that's getting told to you that's upsetting you and probably disrupting you to your core because there's things you just didn't know. And that's the same thing MLK was doing. But you can't be mad at the person. It's not just the messenger. You can't be mad at the delivery of truth. And there just seems to be so much anger with the truth. And if a black person is telling you that the things their president is saying and the things he's embracing feels racist to them, you shouldn't be responding he's not racist. You might maybe you should respond with the base of trying to understand why does that feel racist to you. I don't know. Maybe just try a little empathy. It just seems like we're missing a lot of empathy these days, and it's
Not
really
only that, but it's very short sighted and like hypocritical, right? Because wasn't this country founded on the idea of revolution? Like Boston Tea Party, throwing property overboard, right? That didn't belong to them. And then they dressed up as some other group of people to then like frame other people who had nothing to do with it. So you can't quite cherry
sounds
pick,
real familiar.
huh?
That sounds real familiar. Dressing up as
Right,
somebody else.
right. You can't quite cherry pick the revolutions you want to support and then sit there and poo poo on everybody else because it's not exactly in line with what you want to support. And even when you look across, right? So you have politicians who are like, yes, go this party over here in this country, do that upheaval, right? Because you want to get in and make it work for you. That's why you okay with them doing what they're doing over there. But then you don't want to see it here. So you
Right.
have to sort of really digest and depict and just really sort of parse it and understand what's going on.
So since we don't have any questions, moving on from that one. Another thing that's been bothering me is just it's not even just the name calling, but why is everybody so angry right now?
Because they tired of being at home and seeing the same people every day, and they don't have nothing else to do but fuck and get on Twitter and rant. That's why.
Like, do we forget this country was founded on the aspect of a massacre and just stealing stuff from somebody? Like,
No,
sad.
the other people don't forget. We ain't forget. So no, it's interesting, right? Because so was it yesterday? We was watching Kevin was playing something on YouTube, and it was Cardi B versus Candace Owens. That whole
Oh, that was the one I was going to talk. Yes,
So
yes.
we were watching, I saw a clip of like her response, and she was saying, the Republicans didn't enslave black people or something like that, she said. And I was looking like, what? No, it wasn't just the Democrats. Like, what are you talking about? So even people who claim to know, going back to your point before, they like to still throw out sound bites, knowing that some of the people that they're talking to not gonna pull their card on it. And this chick done wrote a book, right? So again, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the ones out there that continue to say, well, it was the Democrats. Okay, look, I don't care. if you're going to talk about history, you also have to talk about how the parties reformed themselves and switched ideologies at some point. Like, you can't keep pulling these pieces and tad bits of history. But I mean, we got better questions for you. So, it's like that. We didn't get a chance to talk about her. I can't remember her name right now. The one that made the Baltimore ad, and she was talking about how Baltimore has been under Democratic control for so many decades, and they haven't done anything for Black people. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lady asked her. She was like, "Well, that's understandable, but can you name a Republican-led city, county, or state that has done something good for Black people and tell us what they've done?" And she was like, "Oh, actually, I never thought about that. I haven't researched." How do you not research the
Right.
one rebuttal? You raised $2 million. You raised $2 million off of this one platform, and you have absolutely no rebuttal to that situation at hand. And yes, it was Kim Classic or something like that, but I don't. To me, it goes almost to like the whole Republican thing right now, where it's like, this is what the world could look like under Joe Biden. But bro, we under you right now. This is you are the president right now. I've never come in and said, hey, this is what your website might look like when it's totally jacked up and messed up, but only I can fix it. But if you hire them, it's definitely gonna look like the trash that I gave you. Like, I would love to I would love to be able to position that as a sell pitch. Like, you see your logo on your brand, this sucks. But if you hire somebody else, it's definitely going to look like this. But if you give me a chance to fix it, all I need is 4 more years to fix it. I'll take care of it. But if you hire them, it's definitely going to look like the trash I'm giving you right now. You control the Senate and you have the presidential power, but yet you're still blaming it on somebody else. I don't get it.
Because that's what it is. That's what it is. And the girl who did the billboard, she's just following after Republican sound bites again, right? Because Trump like to say all the time, and that's a Democratic-led city. Okay, so what's your point? Like,
but is it a Democratic-led Senate? Like, nobody. It's just, and yes, as Trina says, if one more Karen tells me that MLK was a Republican, people, the party had transformed by then.
Republican. Like, there was an era of Black people who were Republicans, because going back to your point, that's what you voted at that time. Because following the idea of Lincoln and everything else, right? That was that era. There was a switch. There was a
Yeah.
switch.
So also, if people are going to continue to go with that, Karen, Greg, George, and everybody else, that was also the time when Black men wore tights and long socks and had their little hair curled out. Like, that was also when Black men had the right to vote before it was taken away from them again, and we had to get the right to vote all over again. So I don't know if you understand the 20th century thing, but it's kind of a while ago, fam. Like, y'all have to let it go. But with all that being said, the switch was during Roosevelt during the New Deal, when he got kick scraps. Yes, David, that was around the Roosevelt time. That's right, David.
And we did too, with the whole civil rights bill and all of that good stuff.
Correct. Which, even though when the bill was signed, we still didn't have our rights. So I want people to understand that too. Mm-hmm. So all of this is to say, truthfully, if we've caught your attention, just go vote. Don't really care what you're going through, but vote. People literally died for your right to vote. And if you're not going to vote, also remove your essence and remove your privilege to complain, because you're not solving the problem. You're just adding to the problem. So how do we start moving New Franciscus in the Broadway Art District? I need a deeper explanation on that question. Do you understand that question, Toya?
No, that's why I said.
Give me that question again for the Broadway Art District. Give me a little bit more detail. David said, vote, no protest. Vote like they're giving away Jordans. Vote like you vote for American Idol. Actually, I don't know. Some people have bad music taste, but at least vote.
Right.
Let's get out there and vote. Um, the other thing I want to talk about is definitely y'all need to lay off some stuff. I've seen a lot of posts of people criticizing people for not executing or doing the things people should be doing with their downtime. Um, I don't understand the hypocrisy of everybody telling somebody else what they should be doing in their time. Kind of reminds me what we just went through with Chadwick Boseman, where y'all were critiquing that man on losing his weight, but you didn't know he was dying. Um, don't apply empathy and understanding to celebrities and other people after the fact when you can't implement those things in your everyday life.
Mm. That too. And just stay in your own lane. Like if you got time to be watching somebody else, and that means you got too much time on your own hands. So look at what you doing.
See, this is the funny part I be trying to tell people. Y'all think I'm the mean one. Toya just have a different delivery than me. Toya be giving y'all those bars. In other words, stay out of people's business. You don't know what's on. If you're not going to take the time to get the whole story and to figure out what somebody going through, shut up.
Yeah, and for everybody that create those memes, sit down, do something else.
Because ain't nobody coming at y'all saying if you got time to create memes, you could have been making money while you wasting your time on Instagram.
I was about to say, you could go manage somebody's social media page for them and get paid instead of making free memes. That do what? Do nothing. So yeah, have a seat.
Like y'all need to stop it. You can't be like, oh, we shouldn't judge people and we should stay out of people's business because we don't know what we're going through. 3 posts later, why this girl always wearing this kind of wait.
Why is it hurting you?
I don't get what it's supposed to be. It ain't supposed to be this way in any way, shape, or form, but this is what y'all continue to do.
Right, which is one reason why I do not sit on Facebook. I don't know. I just do not have it in me.
Yeah, I've actually elected to go from Facebook to LinkedIn. Facebook has literally become draining.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been on. Listen, I may check Facebook twice a month, if that. I just can't. I don't know.
I don't know who gave you all those PhDs on Facebook for psychology and business analysis, but y'all getting out of line. Y'all are really getting out of line. And it's a couple of y'all I just want to forewarn. Some of these people gonna see y'all in real life. And y'all saw what Toby said. Try Jesus, don't try me because I throw hands. Everybody ain't gonna be willing to just have a conversation with y'all. And some of y'all are crossing those lines of somebody not being able to have a civil conversation when they meet you. I know the world shut down right now, but one day COVID is gonna go away and you're gonna be outside pumping your gas and somebody gonna put it on your ass. I'm just telling you right now, y'all might want to be mindful of the things you say because the world gonna open up and you're gonna have to start encountering some of these people y'all getting real slick with. And ain't always gonna be on your side. I'm just telling you right now.
Again, if you got all that time to be sitting on Facebook, gossiping and talking shit, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Another thing I want to address is if you are still trying to defend Kyle Rittenhouse for the murders that he committed, we don't need to be friends.
Wait, what? Who's doing what now?
Kyle, the guy that shot Kyle Rittenhouse, he's the gentleman that shot the 3 people.
No, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about them defending him.
Right. Oh. So you got people in your feed?
Look, first of all, you was about to get a straight up, we ain't even on camera response. Yes. Defending him. He was protecting the property. We need a militia like that. Just totally skipping over the fact that he was a 17-year-old illegally carrying a rifle.
Right. Do you realize what that means? They're the precedents that's in the signal, right? So, and to me, it's a bit of a signal. It's a dog whistle anyway.
It is.
I
don't think people realize that.
It's a whole we are allowing come out, be him. If y'all don't see what that is, and that's why protesters have got to be careful because you're gonna see more of that. You're gonna see more of it, and it's not a good look at all. Pay attention.
And I just want to say this face to face. If you are still trying to justify what Cal did and saying he was defending his property, and you're trying to even use the castle doctrine or anything else,
It wasn't his property. What?
no, we aren't friends anymore. We not just not friends on Facebook. When you see me in the street, it ain't no need to talk to me because I realize we're not on the same level, and it's okay. It's not that I don't like you anymore. I just can't fuck with you anymore. It's that simple.
Right.
There's no misunderstanding. You're defending a murderer. You've never seen me get on here and be like, but you know, them gangs, they gotta support each other. They gotta do it. No, killing people is wrong, period. You've never seen anybody from one of our organizations ever get on here and defend the killing of somebody else. Period. No. And now you're trying to justify it because of rioting and looting. Like, if that was the case, Black people should have been armed since 1920 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and should have just shot everybody that came in sight. You burnt down the whole city. And most of y'all don't even know about the 1921 massacre. It's not a riot, it was a massacre. People were killed for no reason.
Right.
So I just want to put that out there. I just wanted it to be seen. So this is definitely, and people might ask, you know, why do you associate these things with digital grass? Because we speak for the people. We say what the people can't say. We have a platform, and I appreciate what LeBron is doing. I appreciate what the NBA is doing, but they still can only do so much. I mean, we saw what the great city of Miami said to the Miami Heat becoming a voting district. They said no. I just want y'all to know that. Y'all can keep cheering for the Heat, but the city of Miami straight up said that will not be, AAA will not be used for a voting poll. The city said no.
And what was the reason, just so everybody can know?
I don't even think they literally gave a reason. It was literally like one of those, we're not going to make it happen. It's not happening in Miami. We just want you to know that it had nothing to do with the Miami Heat's decision. This was a decision put forth by the city of Miami. I believe our great producer, Dante, is looking that up right now. But Miami was like, yeah, nah, that ain't happening.
Dante said none.
They had no reason. They just said no. It's like when your mama told you can't go outside and play. There was no follow-up. You just ain't going outside today.
Right.
Still, back to why we had to sit still when it was storming outside. But, you know.
Okay. Turn the lights off. Don't move. Turn TV off.
Quit talking.
So you don't get struck by lightning. That was just low-key timeout. We ain't know.
Like, they just wanted to rest. They was sleepy. They was like, oh, it's raining. I'm about to get this nap in. Y'all stay still. Don't be moving around this house. Quit talking so you don't get struck by lightning. So, per Local 10, Toya, the Heat issued a statement Friday after being informed that AAA would not be a designated polling place. Instead, the Frost Science Museum will be the election site instead of the usual Adrian Art Center in Miami, which is not available. That was when the Heat thought it was a no-brainer since the arena and the arch are so close in proximity. Miami-Dade County Mayor Carlos Gimenez said that the Frost Museum of Science was selected as an early voting location because of its accessibility and experience with early voting, and that he fully supported the choice. That's one of the hardest locations to get to. Ain't no good parking over there. That's stupid.
Because at least with the arena, you could just walk from the street. Like for Frost, you gotta like go inside and
back, down, and up and in through.
Yeah. The arena's way more accessible.
And don't nobody need science experiment to vote. We been an experiment our whole life. We just trying to vote, fam.
Right. Y'all just did both of them, honestly.
Y'all already took millions of dollars just to build a Frost Museum. Now, I bet you they use them numbers to show how many people visited there.
Interesting. But yeah. Well, there's a lot that people need to stop doing. And I think it's just a lot of boredom. People just don't know what to do.
That is the
case. They just bored and they just talking and just want to powwow about stuff. But there is some good things that are coming out of it. You're seeing a lot of more people having conversations, right? There's some good things that are coming. People are expressing themselves. We're seeing new music from people, which is cool.
Yes.
New projects are coming out, so that's pretty hot. People you hadn't heard from in a long time doing different things. So I think that's been the benefit of it too. Flex
I
your
mean,
creative muscle. Stop talking so much. How about that?
artists thrive in pain and suffering. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it comes down to. That's the best time to create. Marvin Gaye, you got some of your best artists. Miles Davis. It's just unfortunately it takes pain. It takes darkness for the star to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very quick thing. I just want to throw out here, totally random, but someone needs to hear this. Quit telling people to aim for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars. That's not true. Your ass will be in darkness. The moon only goes around Earth. Stars are light years away. If you miss the moon, it's gonna be real dark out there. So aim for the stars so you didn't already bypass that damn moon. Quit telling people that. It's scientifically wrong. I just want to put that out there. That shit has been bothering me. Bothering me.
Sound good. You just gotta go with the metaphor. Oh,
No, I can't because there's a lot of things that sound good that's just stupid, and that's one of them.
twinkling. That's right. Twinkle, twinkle.
No, if you miss, you know how dark it is without the sun, and you just out there it's dark, fam. You out there. The stars is light years away. They just want you to be in the darkness. All right, so from our retired but returning associate producer,
Not retired.
Miss Daniel Hall, yes, retired. Reason one for the AAA, so everybody to know, a county elections administrator said one drawback was whether the Heat Arena could be an early voting site in years beyond 2 weeks of early voting that begins in October 19th. Fall election will overlap with the start of the 2021 season. Reason two, the Frost site was steps away from the Museum Park Metro Mover station, as if that's used by people in the urban core. That's another thing. Why are we building all these train stations? We still don't have good public transit. Are people getting on the train like that? Is that really happening?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Virgin pulled out from Brightline, correct? They're no longer a part of it. That lasted for two and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
That was a short-term relationship.
Yeah. And it goes back to the whole point, right? So urban transportation in South Florida is not where it's at because it's not a system. People who take it is because they really have to take it. It's not like or people who work downtown and they live down south. That's a good commute, right? So people who like drive to Dayland Mall, park, and then ride a metro rail in the downtown. Like that works because you can bypass the traffic. But other than that,
but then your ass got to go 45 minutes east to west. You still late.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that you have like professionals doing. Other than that, it's just people who are on it. They have to be on it.
Amy Dawkins has let you guys know that I'm a killjoy, but an educated killjoy. Yeah, I am. Amy, I just got tired of hearing that statement. Like, the good statement was, I love you to the moon and back. That's actually obtainable. People have went to the moon and came back. I like that. My mama say that. My mama used to tell me that when I was little. But quit aiming for the moon. Just aim for Jupiter. Just aim for a whole nother planet.
Aim for the sun. You're gonna pass a whole lot of stuff. And you're gonna be bright.
You're gonna be bright.
Hot.
Shining brighter than a diamond. Say you want to shine bright like a sun. Because you know what? A diamond actually doesn't shine without light.
Okay, in the dark, it looked like nothing.
Nothing. Be the light.
How about that? How about you be the light source? And you just make everything sparkle.
Because if you're the diamond trying to shine bright, you are dependent upon something else to shine.
But it's a reflection.
And the diamond is really not that valuable because it's like 20 diamonds for every human out there.
Ooh, you want to talk about that?
The best marketing campaign ever.
Ever.
They lied to y'all. It's all kind of diamonds out there.
The beers.
The beers had the best campaign ever. Next to McDonald's, I'm loving it because don't nobody love McDonald's no more. Speaking of,
same. Them fries are not the same. I don't care what nobody say. Them fries are not the same.
Well, I mean, due to the fact that we know they don't decompose, and then McDonald's tried to justify.
Right. Outside of that, they stay in your intestines forever. But them
so
same
McDonald's is being sued.
They're not the same as today. They don't taste the same.
Well, they're not the same because they're being sued by 50 black franchisee owners that are suing them for discrimination. So just so you guys know, McDonald's is now in the mix too. McDonald's has a large lawsuit going against them for discriminatory practice of their franchise owners of not giving them opportunities to own some of the high grossing and high producing store locations. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just coming every way, man. Like it's been a rough year.
2020, it's a real year. It's a real year. If you do tarot cards, it's the tower year. It's the tower card.
I think some people don't understand the basis of clarity doesn't mean that things get better.
No.
Sometimes when you ignore, so this is another thing. Amy, this one's for you. You'll like this one, Amy. People who are saying 20 hindsight is 2020. This is the hindsight y'all are getting. Everything is still fucked up. Ain't nothing good. A lot of things have been glossed over and never fixed. And when you continuously move fast, things appear to be better than what they are. But when you slow down and thoroughly start to inspect things, which would come with a 2020 vision, although a 2020 vision is not perfect vision, it's 2010, but we're taught that it's 2020. When you have a 2020 vision, although you're seeing things clear, you may also start to see all the nicks, the scratches, and everything that's wrong with something. So that's what you guys are going through. This is the year of everything being revealed to you. Everything that you thought was good and perfect has been exposed.
Yeah, you gotta let it crumble. Just stand out the way. Just stand back and let it crumble. And then be like, oh, I'm still here.
Right. Your goal right now is to not listen to other people and try to determine what your success. Your goal is to remain sane, healthy, and alive. If you do that and make it to 2021, you have won.
Yeah.
You have at least won this level of Jumanji.
Okay. Now next, go back into the jungle. You've been sucked back into the game. You ain't even know
what's going to happen in 2021? No idea. But you have at least won this level of Jumanji if you make it through 2020.
And it's real.
The 305 is in the building. Hello, brother Saif. How are you doing today?
That's right. Because 2020 ain't holding no cards. It said, how you doing up?
Figure it out.
We here to reveal, baby. Have a seat and watch.
So, and by the way, those 52 ex-McDonald's owners are suing McDonald's for $1 billion. I hope they win 3 times over. Just want to put that out there.
But that's always been an issue. I remember all the big companies kind of have it, right? Yeah. And that goes back to the whole concept of diversity and inclusion. Like, what does that really mean? And how have you really been trying to practice it? And how are you showing up and supporting, right? Because I know when I was at interning at one of the other fast food chains, they had a whole diversity supply chain that focused specifically to make sure that they had diverse companies who they were getting supplies from.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what McDonald's was doing, but you have to think about that, right? And what kind of things are you truly putting in place to make sure that you're being fair and equitable to all businesses and giving everybody a shot? Again, 2020.
And it's like, I was dealing with a not fast dining, casual dining operation. They were like, oh, but 85% of our workers are black. Because they wanted me to do something with diversity inclusion. I was like, I'll do inclusion, but I'm not including the word diversity if you want my name attached to it. It's like, oh, but why? I was like, well, 85% of your workers are black or of color, right? How many of your upper management are black? How many of your executive suite is black? They didn't want to give me those numbers. I was like, well, I'm not attaching anything diverse to that till you fix that problem. Then once you fix that problem, we can have a conversation. Another thing for Saif, he says so many of our folks are dealing with real trauma and we need to show love and support. Saif, you're actually absolutely right. It's scary right now. And I will be the vulnerable male to say I'm dealing, but it's hard. I've never woken up this many nights or this many mornings crying or frustrated or just wondering what the hell am I going to do? I've never needed so many mental days off. Normally you just keep going and you surpass things, but taking time to just put the phone down and just try to stop thinking. As they say now, using the bathroom without your phone is meditation these days. So I have David I talk to probably every 2 to 3 days. More open conversations with my wife. more conversations with Dante, and try to make them non-business related.
Mm.
I've never woke up as much as I do now frustrated. Uh, I never wake up as much as I do now mad. Um, I've never experienced the kind of emotions I'm going through by seeing some of the people that I thought were friends to have the views that they have. I've never thought that I would see the amount of misunderstanding of what it is actually to be a black man in America. I never thought I would be this afraid to be black in America. Um, it's scary,
Mhm.
and it's so hard because as much greatness that we have going on with our company and in my personal life, it seems overshadowed by all the fear and all the pain that I feel I'm taking in that other people are dealing with. Um, a lot of people, make sure you are getting psychological help, or you really have some people that you can talk to. Uh, and I asked Toya, just so everybody knows, I asked Toya to do this today. I wanted to just have a conversation about all the things that are going on. It wasn't a formatted show, but I wanted a chance to hear people see us talk and to understand we do this show every week, and doesn't mean we don't have crazy conversations right before we start filming and right after we film. This is a way we actually support each other, and it's rough. Um, we're here for you all to show you that we're here for you. Sometimes the best thing people can have is some kind of consistency in their life. And the one thing I want to try to do is to make sure that we remain consistent in delivering some entertainment, but some realism, because we could be talking about Meg the Stallion, and we could be talking about all the gossip, but you know, we're kind of like female conscious rappers. Y'all want to support us, but y'all really ain't streaming, but y'all know all the lyrics to WAP. I mean, it is what it is. And we accept that. We're not mainstream. We're here to make impact. And that's why I love having LaToya as a business partner, because she's doing so much in a positive outlet. You think you know the beauty and you know the mindset of a woman, but you don't until you sit down with a woman that you can look up to. Till you sit down with your wife and understand what she's going through. And until you can admit that every day you're still making a mistake, but that's a day that you can become better. Um, that's what we're going through right now. But I wanted you guys to see this in its rawest form, because you watch shows and you look at things. There's so many people that they just they parade through it all. They just, oh, everything's perfect. This is my life. Nah, man, shit ain't perfect right now. It just ain't. But I hope that it helped at least one person today. I hope at least one person realized they're not the only ones going through this. Uh, get yourself a Toya. Get yourself a Dante. Get yourself an amazing partner. Uh, exactly. You're absolutely right, Saif. You need people to. A lot of people are like. I had a conversation with a close friend of mine, talking about the negative impact of WAP. And, bruh, I grew up listening to Silk. I grew up listening to Key Sweat. I grew up listening to a lot of inappropriate music, but they were never my role models. Marcus Hall was my role model. Marsha Booker was my mom and my father. Those were my role models. The people my parents chose to have me around, music was always music. We started losing when we allowed musicians to become the role models in our children's lives, and not the parents and the people that surround those parents to be the role models. MC Hammer was never my role model. He just had dope music, and he had fly pants that everybody wanted to wear. Vanilla Ice was not my role model. And I'm mentioning these artists for everybody to understand, because those are the people I was listening to between the ages of 10 to 12 years old. When we're saying kids, nobody I was listening to at 10 to 12 was a damn role model to me.
Right. Now, I did want to be a dancer. He did. But right. No, I mean, that's a great point, right? It's all about proper perspective and knowing that music is music. Just like, you listen to it, that doesn't mean you about to try to go get high and do everything that they talking about in the
At
songs.
all.
That's not my life, and that's not how I'm living at all.
Hold up, sellers. You can talk about MC Hammer, but MC Hammer had a cartoon. Hammer had movies. Hammer had videos.
Listen, he was trying to battle Michael at one point.
Look, I'm trying to, them hits he had.
Don't remember.
Like Hammer told y'all, or like Hammer told me in Vegas. Hammer said he ain't never made less than $150,000 since he was 13 years old as a bat boy for the Oakland A's. He been getting money. That was a role model. He took care of the whole hood. Chuck D, yes, you're right, Saif. Chuck D was a role model through his music to become conscious, but at the same time, we didn't really know artists enough to make them role models because you knew nothing about their personal life. And like my friend Joe was having a discussion, but you see kids and they see the cars and the money. When I grew up, rappers didn't have money like that. They had to do it for the passion. You weren't getting rich as a rapper back in the day.
Right. But then you also knew that a lot of that was dope culture, right? So again, who is trying to do that?
You knew it was entertainment, but
right.
Why are we putting so much on music? It requires mental creativity, especially if you don't have videos. I don't see nobody blaming, the cops and robbers and the people that was killing. Didn't nobody decide they wanted to start killing people because of Friday the 13th? Like, you choose what you want to follow. But my parents did take me around strong Black women and strong Black men and positive people that had careers, and to show me these are the things you can have if you work. Parents, quit relying on celebrities to be the role models for your children. And if you have sought those people to be your role models, you have failed your children.
Perspective is everything.
It's just all it is. From another comment from Saif, he's appreciating how Master P and a few others like T.I. are now pushing the conversation on real generational wealth creation. I want to encourage every young person I know to buy one share of Apple as opposed to a pair of Fred. Absolutely. And with that split, Apple stocks have dropped down to $112. You can definitely buy a share of Apple. A good perspective, like Toya said, for perspective, if my parents would have bought me $100 worth of Apple shares for my graduation, they're back up to 142. Great. That means my money coming back. If my parents would have bought $100 worth of shares of Apple stock in 1997, I would be a millionaire today if I would have sold those stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that something for an 18-year-old to know? Or would that be something for, at that time, my parents only 17 years older than me? So for a 35-year-old to be able to inflict, my parents were still learning how to grow up themselves. At the point where my parents had an 18-year-old child, I would be now 5 years older than them.
Yeah.
There's always mistakes, people, but there's always things you can do better. Sit down and talk to your kids about stocks. Talk to them about life. Sit down and talk to your kids about sex so they don't have to learn it from porn and through songs.
Listen.
Have open conversations with them so they can become educated, because they're definitely not teaching it in school, just like they whitewashing history. If you want them to know the truth, teach it to them.
Yeah. And there's too many ways to teach it to them now. Like,
too easy.
Really good stuff on YouTube. They have all kind of, like, if we're talking about African culture, right? There's African videos and all kind of stuff on YouTube. We play it all the time for Talk. Like, Talk know the Shaka Zulu theme song. Like,
what's up?
Right. He know the whole dance. So, it's all about perspective and priorities and what you want your kids to know. Because one of the things is, I know for me, I know my textbooks weren't as crazy as some of the revisionist stuff that you're hearing now, where it's like, oh no, everybody was there and they were happy. And it's like, I had the level of like education. Our textbooks was pretty good, I would say. But when you think about now, like, no, and that's the thing, that's the danger, right? Because to the victor goes the spoils, and those are the people that get to determine what history says.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't stop it and don't reinforce and be like, nah, sir, because then it can happen again. And then you like, wait a minute, 100 years from now, the shit don't recycle back to the 1400s. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, history repeats itself and it's real. And we see it right now. They're trying to take this thing back to 1940s with some of the stuff that they're trying to put into place. So,
and the easiest way to not fix history is to never learn the history. Because if you don't learn the problems that happened before, you don't know what you're fixing, and you don't know that things are being repeated.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, this is something new. Maybe it will work. No, they already did this part. It failed before.
Right.
We don't need to run the same version of that crash. that crash program. It didn't work then, fam. It's not going to work now.
No, I mean, even when you just look at some of the atrocities that have happened, right? So Hitler learned from the U.S. What happened to the Jews in Germany was based on how blacks were treated in the U.S. It's the same thing. You look at what happened to the indigenous people in Australia. Same thing that happened to the indigenous people in the Americas. Same thing. Like, that's why history is so important.
That's why so many people continuously try to tell you things, to those Facebook debaters that are always like, why are y'all always bringing up the past? Pretty much the same reason why as soon as y'all start talking about black people and crime, you bring up Chicago. Is that the only city Republicans know? There's other things and there's other cities. Y'all don't want to talk about the prosperous elements of Atlanta. You don't want to talk about the billionaire Tyler Perry. If you're going to continuously focus on negative things in a conversation where somebody is trying to teach you what positive things and history elements, you're not really trying to have a conversation. You're trying to prove a point. Those are two different things. If you're coming to learn, you must listen, not just talk. So, and Marcella said, yes, it wasn't as easy to get stocks as it is back then as it is now. I totally agree. Between paperwork and living in the country, I don't know what my parents would have had to do to get me stock back in 1997. But it's just perspective. I mean, every time I buy my nephew something, I also buy some stocks. That's how he's set up in my will. He has some shares that it comes to him. You don't appreciate it now. He's 2. He shouldn't. I'm sure he want that little bulldozer truck that's in the car. But when he's 18 years old and he realizes he has something in his name, that's what he should remember Uncle Mike for. Doing the things that my parents couldn't do. Progressing things along. So.
And there's easy ways where you don't have to buy full stocks or full blocks. You can do stockpile. Where you can buy
partial shares, everything. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And you can have a whole little assortment. That's what we do again for Talk. He has a whole stockpile account where he has little bits of everything. And he's able to pick. We'll be like, hey, what do you want to pick? And just make it kind of fun. And, it's all about the introduction and just continue to create interest around it.
And that's like you said, that's definitely a big thing. The reason why I wanted to become an engineer, because I got to visit Tuskegee University and saw the life my parents living. I was like, oh, that looked fun. Now, did I end up becoming an engineer? No. But I knew I wanted to go to a university. And I knew I wanted to have that kind of lifestyle. I wanted to be able to make my own money. Like Toya said, I remember when Dr. Dre and Snoop came out with a Chronic, definitely didn't want to be a drug dealer because I knew I was going to go home and get my ass handed to me. So I had the fear of life from my father.
Okay.
So
I didn't feel comfortable cursing. You know how you used to like curse in school? I didn't feel like comfortable cursing until I was like in high school. But I said my friends. I was like, I can't do it. It's so.
I didn't even start cursing around my mom until 2 or 3 years ago when she started cursing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like adulthood. Yeah. Even like friends.
That didn't happen until they started cursing around me. I was like, oh, it's cool now.
Oh, that's how y'all talking.
I was a grown ass man. I was like, oh, we can do that.
Right, and now it's even sparingly, and it's just a sprinkle maybe here and there.
Right, it's still respect. So
yeah,
I always tell it's 2 things that I would really want to say. The hood is just creativity, not stolen. And being in the hood is not just a physical location; it's a mindset. Choose your exit strategy.
Real, because you can have that mindset wherever you are.
So a lot of people that's right in the suburbs that still got a hood mentality and they ain't never gonna make it nowhere. Just because you have a house and a Benz don't mean you're not in a hood mindset.
So what else we got in the chat? That's it?
Yeah. We almost gave him an hour. I think we gave him some pieces, some nuggets. Dante got some things he could cut up and make some good points. But guys, we just want to have an open conversation with you. We're in between whether we're going to take a break. We prepare for the political time frame, and we got some programs launching off, and Toya is close to getting that big pop off with cosmology. So we'll decide. Let's see if we got some guests we're talking to, or whether we just need to take a break. Bill Maher took a break.
99, right?
Yeah, I feel like once we get into October, it's going to be heavy because we're going to have to at least ride it out. We'll have to ride it out through the elections, and depending on how that go, that could be a glorious day or that could be a very painful day to be talking about the news. So
yeah,
Marcella said no breaks. Of course, We'll think about it, man. Maybe we'll just go to a 30-minute show and give you guys some snippets or something. But
Yeah, or we could do like Bill Maher, take a month off, come
yeah,
back in November, early November, right
absolutely.
before, or like end of October, right before the election season.
Yeah, we're gonna come back for the election, so we got to give y'all that though. We definitely got to get our political official back, Gerald. Um, damn, I just
Bullet, the white.
the white bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do that for you guys. But gonna give you some educational stuff. But we got some good stuff coming up. So we got some stuff coming up with the Black Music Action Coalition. So
And Junction, because y'all been posting all kind of stuff on Instagram.
yeah, yeah.
What's going on with that?
So if you guys know anybody in the food industry, Tamila Mullins is a part of the program. She submitted. We got the food incubator. Due to COVID and knowing that, well, for one, we ain't gonna have no food hall because we ain't about to have y'all in there coughing and getting sick. We decided to take our platform and make it a virtual platform. And if people understand, Junction is a place of connection and normally was located directly to train tracks, but of a place of connection. So we figured we'd make our own little railroad system, and we are going to work with multiple locations to build them up, to build more safe spaces and to empower more businesses. So if you go to junctionhalls.com/incubator, I believe that is it. But if not, Dante will post the link in there. Want to get more food businesses off the ground. Food locations are always a safe space, and a lot of chains have been shutting down, but a lot of small food businesses are doing great right now and flourishing in this time. So we want to see how we can add to that, since we wouldn't be able to open our location comfortably probably for another 3 to 4 years. So it's our way of giving back to the community. So we want to see if we can build some businesses out there.
That's what's up.
So that's about it. And the link is in there, junctionhalls.com/incubator. Go apply. We've taken up to 15 companies to be on board for this first cohort.
Very cool. So all those wannabe food truck owners, pop-ups, it could even be, those concessions.
Your restaurant maybe just stalled out and you don't understand the marketing world. Everybody that's ever wanted a free logo and free marketing services from Medium Forward Digital Grass, this is your chance.
Right, because you can still do a ton of stuff with delivery. They're still doing construction, driving around the construction sites, delivering meals. There's a ton of opportunity in space right now. You just got to think differently.
So Toya gave it to you. I don't even holler. That's the imperfections of owning your marketing company. The one thing you normally don't do is market yourself. But it's definitely an opportunity we wanted to put out there, and we thought it was a better use of our funds. And we are doing that in conjunction with the University of Miami and also the Knight Foundation. So
good stuff.
Well, guys, that's Toya.
That's Mike.
And this is Tech Beats and Bytes.